Motor Trend writes the 2024 Ram 1500 electric vehicle is going to get 500 miles to the charge or whatever. 200 kilowatt hours provide a promised 500 miles of range, and the 800 volt architecture will speed up the fast charging. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work out.
Put some weight in it.
So people need to understand this too, because Luke knows this. We have Teslas. You put weight in those things, those batteries go down quick.
Yeah. Fill the back of that with a couple of round bales of hay, and now do it in February.
Yeah, especially when it's cold, which has a direct effect on the batteries, which is a negative one.
This stuff? The harvest.
They're not thinking. They're not thinking.
Biden money. It's all Biden money.
It's all investment into foreign globalist corporations that, of course, are going to be giving you a product that doesn't work half as good. That is meant to, of course, deny you the ability to move. That's essentially what they're doing here.
Yeah.
Electric trucks, man, it's a crazy concept, but I'm willing to bet Tesla will do it better, to be honest.
Yeah, they're moving away from.
Didn't they create like a semi truck?
Tesla?
Yeah.
They have Cybertruck.
They have the Cybertruck, but they had another big one that's going to be automated. But also the automation and the self-driving is also going to have a huge, vast effect on humanity as well.
Fast charging is bad
for the battery.
Yeah, it's really bad for the battery. You get warnings. Teslas only let you charge by default up to 80% unless you manually override. And if you're doing standard charging, which is like 10% of the speed, then you can go up to 90%. But so what is it like? What does it add, Luke? Like 10 miles per hour or something? A standard charge?
I'm not sure the exact.
I think it's 40.
Yeah.
I think because I've got a Tesla plug, and I think it gives you 40 miles of range every hour. So you use that car for one day for errands, and you've got to plug it in for several hours. You go to the supercharger, it'll be done in 20 minutes, but it damages the battery and it warns you to only go up to 80%. Now imagine you're in a truck, and imagine you're in a Ram 1500. How much weight do you think a 1500 normally would be towing?
Oh gosh, that thing isn't more than 4 tons. I can't imagine.
4 tons?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think
1500.
Yeah, I don't think it could. But I mean, more than that.
But I mean, like regularly. I mean, people in the chat probably know. Like, what's the amount of weight?
Maybe,
like
probably 2 tons.
It depends on the hardware underneath that we can't even mention on this YouTube channel.
The hardware?
The hardware underneath the truck that we can't say on this YouTube channel.
What?
Get it?
The transmission.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
What a world, dude.
What a world. But no. Of course. But my question is just like, if somebody buys a Ram 1500, they're not going to be hauling commercially. I mean, it's going to be for what, like semi-personal, semi-professional.
Yeah, this says here approximately 990 to 2,000 pounds.
Right.
So that's it. Wow.
Yeah,
it's 1,500.
That's nothing. Oh wow.
I didn't think it was going to be that.
That's
crazy.
a 2014 Dodge Ram.
Yeah. Okay, well that's old. It could probably do way better these days. So if you're getting the electric one, they're expecting to pull that much. If you think you're getting 500 miles of range on that battery,
no.
And then don't expect to do any like weekend work jobs.
Yeah.
Because you got to stop that thing, plug it in for 5 hours,
and don't go up any hills.
How long does it charge?
And don't do it in winter.
Yeah.
Like if you charge your battery and you just let it sit, how long does it stay charged?
That's a good question on an electric car. I don't know. If you Tesla owners, if you plug in your Tesla and it's fully charged and you unplug it and you just let it sit, does it last for a day, 2 days, 5 days, a week?
I filled up my gas tank like a year ago, and I haven't moved my car, and it's still got like.
I hope you.
Well, gas goes bad too, and your car battery goes bad as well.
Yeah, the car is totally.
But I think it's
defunct.
Like
it just sits there.
10 to 15% per day, depending if you have Sentry mode on. So you lose about 10 to 15% per day.
And it's connected to the internet. It's got a cell signal. But that doesn't take that much battery at all. So how would we make a nuclear power truck? How would we do that?
That's what I love about Back to the Future. Remember, he comes back. Doc comes back at the end, and he's got Mr. Fission in the back of the DeLorean, right? And he's putting in all the food scraps. Why are we not there?
What if we made like a nuclear powered steam train?
Well, I mean,
they just put water in and it just goes.
The Navy has all nuclear powered ships where nuclear is not legal for commercial or private use, but the military uses it. All the aircraft carriers, submarines are all nuclear powered. Why can't, if you want to go on Carnival cruise from here to Jamaica, why can't you take a nuclear powered cruise ship?
Okay,
and you're like, well, it's dangerous. Well, you let the poor 18-year-old farm boy from Iowa get on a nuclear powered ship, and he goes around the world. Well, so I don't know why they don't all have nuclear power.
You wouldn't need that much nuclear material. They would shovel the coal make a steam engine work.
Yep.
Just put a couple of nuclear rods in there, and it's good for a really long time.
Imagine
I
if
guess
the-
it's just remarkably dangerous.
The size of those tankers that bring all of our crap from China, right? Those things that are the size of 5 football fields, and they've got 40,000. Imagine if they were nuclear powered. How much greener for the earth to not burn hundreds of thousands of gallons of diesel. But they're not
what do
allowed
you-
to be nuclear powered.
But they go in international waters. What if they made like nuclear auto ferries that stopped before they get to territorial waters and then switched to gas?
They should. For some reason, right now, only military is allowed to have nuclear powered. If you have a little fancy yacht, you should have a bit small nuclear engine. I should have a nuclear reactor in my backyard. You should have one.
It's like Fallout. You ever play the Fallout games? So everybody had their
Yeah.
cars were nuclear. So in the game they explode, which makes no sense for nuclear power. But
No.
but people think like nuke means bombs. So
Yeah, exactly. It's
there you
the
go.
exact same technology. Also, they're little small, except they just build a big wall around it so that the explosions is contained.
So
That's how nuclear power works. I'm
what-
joking. It's not how
Look,
it
look,
works.
what's the end result of
Really how it
this?
works, yeah.
People talk about how Tesla cars can be remote controlled and all that stuff. It's like, oh, you buy the electric vehicle, they're not gonna let you charge. And I'm like, they can just shut your gas station down. Like if they can stop you from charging your car, they can just shut down a gas station. I mean, if they don't want you driving, you're not driving.
Yeah, if the power goes out of the gas station, the pumps don't work.
Right, exactly. So people are like, in California, it said don't charge your electric car. And it's like, and?
Well, I think the biggest difference, and this is where I agree with you 100%. For good, the fossil fuel industry is still in private hands. If you need gas, you're not dependent upon. Now, your government can shut it down, true, but the government doesn't provide you with gas. The government doesn't produce it. They don't manufacture it. They don't refine it. It's in the hands of the private sector. The government, for good or for ill, I would think for ill, the government does provide your
Absolutely
power.
ill.
The government does provide your power. And so if what charges your vehicle is gas and it's free, or it's electricity and it's government, then you're in the hands of the government, 100%. And that is a scary, scary prospect. They're like, well, I'll just put solar panels around my house. But the solar does not generate enough electricity to charge your car.
I'm going to build a sail car. Yeah.
They work as well as wind turbines.
I'm gonna build a Flintstone car and then beat all of you guys. But now also another layer to understand here with smart meters and smart grids and smart cities, they'll be able to calculate what you used your electricity for, since everything is connected to Wi-Fi, everything's connected to the internet. And just like they start denying drones access to particular territory, they could do the same thing with electric vehicles that, of course, have cameras inside of cars, watch your every move, and of course could control and database you on such a level where you could literally be brought to a police station if you commit a thought crime inside of your Tesla. The Tesla will automatically snitch on you to the central controllers. The central controllers will literally drive you to the gulag.
You don't have enough credit. Yeah, you have enough social credit. You didn't do enough good deeds.
No, you
said the
use too
wrong
much
things.
carbon.
Too much carbon.
The end game here is also a social credit carbon score that, of course, the World Economic Forum has been talking about. They just released an article talking about how great was it for people to be locked down during the last 2.5 years, and how that gives us hope to lock people down for a new social carbon credit score that they're going to be implementing. And it gives them the possibility to do this as they were celebrating the previous lockdowns, looking for future lockdowns that they want to put on you, and they can only put them on you if you, of course, acquiesce and comply with this utter nonsense that they have already put us through within the last few years.
That's why a lot of the Greens keep talking about climate change as a public health emergency, because as soon as you compare it to COVID, then you can use the same protocols of COVID. And the Greens have wanted to make meat illegal for 40 years, right? The Greens are so envious. I wrote an article about this a couple of months ago about COVID envy. The Greens look at the COVID people and are like, how did you guys do this in a couple of months? We've tried for 40 years to get people to not go to church. But under COVID, it was like, whoop, sorry, churches are closed.
But you could go to the liquor store.
Yeah,
You could go to McDonald's. You could go to Walmart.
Absolutely.
Just think about the kind of person that would try to forcefully take away your steak.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever had a good tenderloin? It's amazing.
It's Beyond Meat is just as good. Ask
No.
Bill Gates.
Oh, no.
He also
Yeah.
did that freaky 60 Minutes interview where he talked about how it was just as good with Anderson Cooper. Just as good.
He's just-
and guess who owns all like the Beyond Meat factory freak show world, or who buys up all the farmland and says you can't produce cows anymore.
And has man bazongas out there in the general public, and it's clearly a very unhealthy individual.
Didn't Elon Musk post the pregnant man meme?
Yes.
Exactly. I made a T-shirt out of it, and it's one of our best sellers, and it's
Hold on,
absolutely
you
is
guys.
true.
I went to the Frederick County Fair this past weekend. And I love the county fairs. They're amazing. The Frederick one's really big because Frederick's like, I think 300,000 people or some massive city. And they had chickens. You get to go in, and there's animals all over. And there were bunnies, and the bantams are always just so funny. And there were chickens, and the chickens, none of them looked anywhere near as cool as our chickens, for real. Like, I looked at the Brahmas, I was like, they got nothing on Sarah. but I just think about that, how it is not difficult to have chickens, right? Even if you want to live sustainably, you get chickens, all you have to do is protect them. They just eat. They walk around, they eat grass, they eat bugs, they eat. Then there's berries and there's other stuff. They just eat all day nonstop. You don't got to do anything. You just fence them off and make sure nothing kills them. And then the best part is you can eat their babies. Like, well, you can eat the babies before they're babies. You don't want to eat the baby chicks.
Yeah.
And then you can eat them when it's time to eat them. Why take that away and make us eat crickets? When you can literally just have the chickens eat the crickets, and then you get the chicken meat and the eggs and their feet. You can eat all of the chicken parts.
Yeah.
And then you can even use chicken bones and whatever for whatever it is you want to do. I don't know. You can make a little car out of them or something.
Yeah, the fascination with crickets. I see all the videos all the time, the images of like all the cricket snacks, all the. We had one of the times I was here with that awesome Canadian Kian.
Kian Backstein.
Right, he's big into all the different cricket manufacturers and cricket, and I hope Kian's watching. Kian Bexley, I follow him on Twitter.
Have you?
But he was big into all the companies that make cricket food.
Have
Freaky.
you ever looked at the sodium levels of fake meat?
Oh, it's probably through the roof.
Lethal.
Insane.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. I was looking at, I can't remember which fake meat company it was, but the sodium, it was like one burger patty was like 73% of your daily sodium intake because it tastes like crap.
Yeah.
Now look,
Yep.
I don't mind I don't mind veggie burgers. Like a black bean burger.
Can be very good.
Oh, they're delicious.
Quinoa burger I've had. Those are fine.
Yeah.
I love, and it's like it's its own thing. You get like a quinoa black bean with like peas or whatever, and then you can put like onions. It's good when it's meant to be good, but sometimes you want hard protein. You want just to get some protein. Maybe you're trying to get all ripped like Hemsworth. You got to eat a lot of fish and you got to eat a lot of chicken. And beef is okay. I don't like to eat too much beef. Because it's rough, it's tough. Chicken and fish is really, really great. But they're taking all of that away. Why fish? Get a pond, throw fish in it, and then make sure you're not eating too much of it. But they're literally like, despite the fact that it's easily possible to have sustainable farms for yourself and a homestead, they're like, no, you should eat the bugs.
Nothing is better for those farmers who are watching also than a pig. Because the thing eats the pig eats the chicken.
Have you ever seen
pigs eat everything.
I watched a
True.
pig eat a chicken bone.
Yeah.
And it just shatters that in
people.
one bite.
Yeah.
Pigs eat. If
swallows
you
it.
fall in, if you fall in a pig trough while pigs are eating, and your hand is in the way, like watch out. Like they're not to say that they're violent like that, but if they are eating and you put your hand there, like
Stop.
sorry, watch the hand, buddy.
Legit, I want to make a pig horror movie. Let's do it. We got a budget. Who wants to make a?
I'm sure there's many.
And it'd be like the pigs cometh, and it'll be like a bunch of hogs break out of a pig farm.
A bunch of people in New York State that only have 5 rounds in their magazine, and there's like 50 hogs. And I'm like, no,
let's do it.
Who go,
Let's
Governor,
do it.
who girl?
Let's do it. Let's make a comedy horror where it's like
They find a bunch of
New York
psychoactive
City-
mushrooms.
A pig farm just north of New York City erupts, and there's like 1,000 pigs that rampage through the city.
Rampage through the
and
city.
no one has any weapons, so it's just like people
GMO
running, and the
Monsanto
are like,
pigs.
"Ah."
Oh, and they would eat so well in New York City because there are so many homeless and drug addicts just like sleeping on the
Oh,
street.
no.
The pigs would they get so fat they wouldn't be able to be violent after a while.
It'd be funny if like we do a parody film that's like meant to be silly, but then it turns out to be so good that it spawns like an AMC drama series that lasts like 6 seasons, becomes like multiple movies in a universe, and it's the Pig Cometh cinematic universe.
Andrew plug.
I'm gonna write that down. The Pigs Cometh.
No plugging here.
Andrew's my husband. I want to talk about pigs. He's Australian and Australian outback.
Your
and-
husband, and you want to talk about pigs? What are you saying about your
Hey,
husband?
come on now.
Because in the Australia, they hunt wild boar, and they would do it for fun because Australians are all a little crazy. They would do it without any weapons. They would just use dogs. And their dogs were so well trained that they knew which ear to grab, and if they grabbed the wrong one, they would switch. So I'm the left ear, I'm the right ear. And Andrew will tell you, if you just get a pig from the behind, any farmer knows this, pigs can't turn around. You just have to grab its hind legs. And I'm like, so this is a wild pig with 2 dogs on its ears, and you would just grab its leg? Yeah, you grab its leg and you pull out your knife, and he says this with an Australian accent, which I'm not going to imitate, and you pull out your knife and you just stab it in the neck.
knife.
And I'm like, Australians
That's not a
are
knife.
crazy. Australians are very weird.
No, hey, legit. I want to make a pig horror movie.
Pig
That'd be
horror
fun.
movie. So make it Australia.
Look, that's a really good idea. The conflict should be that people can only have 3 rounds in their magazines. And most don't even have guns because people who live there tend not to, like in New York, don't have them. And so then it like the superhero turns out to be some like, he's a big fat redneck guy with a MAGA hat and he's got like a 100 round drum and he's like, I'll save you. And then he goes to the city just mowing down
and
pigs.
they team up with all the gangbangers and the gangbangers and the MAGA people come together and they fight off the Monsanto pig invasion.
Dude, I legit
awesome.
want to make it.
Yeah.
How much money do we need to make something like that? That would be an amazing movie. You guys know it.
New York doesn't have enough
$6
guns for
million
the
bucks,
pig.
probably.
You
6
gotta
million?
I mean, it'd be
guess
really
for the-
good for 6 million. Yeah.
for the with the pigs though. Unless we did like really crappy CGI pigs.
Yeah, you need to
running
get the pig.
around.
I just saw a pig trap where they get like these big cylindrical wire like gates that are hanging in the air, and then the 20 pigs go in, like feral pigs, and they throw all this food in there, and all these pigs come in, they start eating the food, and then the wire things just drop and hit the ground, and they encase like 40, they can trap like 40 hogs at a time, because the whole thing going out there and killing them one by one is you can't stop the spread of the pig because they keep breeding the ones that survive.
And we have a huge feral pig problem in this country. I'm sure a lot of the listeners who are from that part of the world, and every time there's an AR story, like no one should have an AR-15, I go to Texas ranches and they're like, if I don't come out here every night with my AR, from this distance, for my protection and safety, the only thing strong enough to kill those, and they do amazing, they kill cows.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.